Yeah, so I got a few things, but first, man, there's an issue there with Kyle Pitts. I think at this point, he was supposed to be the next great thing. He was supposed to be what Brock Bowers is, and he's just
He
not.
was.
I mean, and he hasn't been.
Not at all. He came out and he was supposed to be amazing.
And I'm the first
rookie year, dropped him in the top 5.
I'm the first one to blame it on Arthur Smith because I don't like him, but he doesn't have that excuse anymore. I mean, I know Kirk Cousins has had his troubles, but it's he killed me, and I really thought about starting Noah Gray, who I had picked up, and was like, nah, man. I mean, this guy's due for nothing. But anyway, watch your back, Kyle Pitts. But that's not part of the rant. All right, we got a few things today I want to get into. First,
it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine.
Yeah, that wasn't my first, but okay, sure. So I mean, who do you think was the first diva wide receiver that you can remember? I mean, because being a diva wide receiver is a thing now. But who do you think was the first?
Chris Carter.
Ooh, okay, that's pretty good. I hadn't.
In my
I hadn't thought about him. Definitely a diva. I don't buy him as a Hall of Fame receiver, but yes, definitely a diva. But in my memory, I think Michael Irvin was really the first one. I think he was definitely a diva.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. Going a little further back, they're probably around the same timeline. But the reason I bring that up is, in this new era of the elevated wide receiver diva, this position has evolved. I mean, it started up the Michael Irvins and the Chris Carters of the world, and some of these guys are just out of control. But now,
Randy was even.
Oh yeah, Randy. So, but the Steelers have a wide receiver problem. I don't know if it's in the water out there in Pittsburgh. I don't know what's going on, but they got a perfect formula for drafting good wide receivers and making them crazy. I mean, it started with Antonio Brown, complete nut job after he left. Deontay Johnson, he can't. I mean, he's suspended now in Baltimore because they're not going to put up with it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I think
detrimental.
I think we kind of saw this coming. I think we touched on this a couple of weeks ago that this maybe wasn't going to work out because of the regime there with John Harbaugh. He doesn't take it. He doesn't put up with that nonsense. And now they have a George Pickens problem. What is it that's going on over there that they can't get these guys in line? I get why wide receivers are a little bit of a diva, but why can't everybody just be like Jamar Chase? Just be like that guy. Just be a good diva. Yeah. Be an A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is a good diva. Jamar Chase is a good diva. Can't you be like this?
DeAndre
Hopkins is a good diva. I don't get it, but it's just it's too much of a coincidence. And I don't know what they're doing over there. You can't blame it on the offensive coordinators because they've had like 3 or 4 or 5 in these guys' existence. So the one constant is Mike Tomlin, but he seems a little bit more of a disciplinarian. I don't mind him calling out George Pickens the other day, but there's something there. Something is making those guys crazy.
I think it's very confusing. Yeah. Very confusing, Marcus. Because I just what you said. You're a Steelers guy. Maybe Cool Rob can come on. Maybe Jake. All Steelers guys. Maybe they could comment down below.
Oh, imagine that
and give us a reason.
But there's a lot of.
Give us a reason why Steelers have diva wide receivers.
But they're not even good divas. They're crazy. Antonio Brown's in that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but you could also throw Juju in there, right?
Absolutely.
He was very diva-ish.
Yep.
It was almost like after Hines Ward left, everyone else came in and decided that they wanted to be, freaking Mariah Carey or something.
I don't know what it is.
Better than everybody else. It's ridiculous.
I don't know what it is. But there's something I'd like to know, because I'm a Steeler fan. What is it that they are doing to wide receivers to turn them into this kind of crazy? And is there a way to fix it? I think George Pickens is a great talent, but
who's their wide receivers coach? Maybe he's getting in there.
Yeah, I'd have to do a little research on that and see if it's changed. Because typically, don't those guys change with the offensive coordinators? I'm not sure.
A lot of times.
I'm not sure, but something's going on. 3 times in a row. Well, actually, 4 times now that you bring up Juju. There's some crazy going on there. I don't know what it is.
It is crazy.
It is crazy.
Good thought.
And then I think
that's a good rant to go on. especially if it's your team, because you don't want to see it on your team.
No.
Right? You don't want to see issues on your team.
I want to see it on somebody else's team. I want to see that on the Ravens, but John Harbaugh won't let it happen. That's what I would like to see. I guess we'd be remiss in the show if we didn't talk about this, but I think we have to discuss the quarterback hit heard round the world this week with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I'm assuming you saw it. What's your take on it? I mean, obviously the ramifications have been huge and everybody's got an opinion, but what did you think when you saw it hit? I didn't see it live. I had to watch the replay. I don't know if you saw it live on one of your 25 televisions in there, but did you see, I mean, what'd you think? What's your first reaction to it?
I did see it live. I actually texted the group right before young Sheldon did. You know, it looked like it hurt.
Yeah, just a little.
I mean, what else is there to say? It looked like it hurt. You know what? He's not a running quarterback, so you can't really blame it on running quarterbacks. He was just running out of the pocket. Tom Brady says that if you slide late, there should be a penalty, but the referees can't even get holding and pass interference penalties.
Yeah, they're not going to get that right.
So how are they going to mention if they slide too late? You know, it sucked. I kind of like Trevor Lawrence. I think he's also one of those guys we've talked about before. If he went to a different franchise, maybe he could be a better quarterback. So I think he has talent.
Maybe.
But I think as a defender, it's tough. But from a former Division III defender, you know when somebody's about to go down. What they have to take out of the game is any type of fake, because defenders are so afraid to hit a quarterback now, and you'll see Pat Mahomes do it a lot, where he'll run and maybe look like he's going to run out of bounds or stuff like that, and then he continues to go. Lamar, he does it. That's the stuff that I think they have to take out if they want to fix that. But of course, we can't get the NFL to respond to our letters asking for things. So I don't think that my opinion here is really going to amount to a hill of beans. But
it doesn't take much to see that the problems of three little people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world.
The defender has to know. I mean, in slow motion when you watch it, it looks like he was headhunting. But in fast motion, you knew he was going to slide. I mean, personally, as a former defender, you know if that quarterback's starting to go down, you may like try to stop and fall, but that guy, I mean, came missile in, so he was just like bam, right into his face.
Never stop pumping.
So I think it is the defender's fault. I do think that there was some intention there, whether he meant to hurt that guy or not. I think he just saw quarterback, hit him. Whatever. But it sucks. You look at Tua. I mean, I don't know. That's my take.
You know, so I mean, I looked at it and you're right. So I don't have a problem with the penalty, but I think it's a little bit it's tough for defenders nowadays, because how do you turn that switch on from preparing to tackle a Lamar to a Lawrence, man? I think I get the penalty. I get a fine, 3 game checks. If the guy's been in trouble with the league on the regular, maybe you do it. But I'm wondering, and I'm just going to throw this out there, if he puts that same hit on Lamar, is there that much outrage? And should there be a difference? My take is there should not. It's a violent sport. And the person who should be the most responsible for protecting the quarterback on the team is his offensive lineman and the quarterback himself. It's a violent game, and it's played at a very fast pace. And I get throwing the flag on the guy. You want to fine him $50 grand. I'm sorry that Trevor Lawrence got hurt, but what I don't like is where it gets separated. I mean, I watch Lamar a lot because he's on my fantasy team, and there are a lot of penalties that he doesn't get. Now you sneeze on Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes gets the Tom Brady treatment. He's kind of earned it. I still don't agree with it. It should be the same across the board for everybody. Was it excessive? Perhaps. It's a violent sport. But 3-game checks, 3-game suspension, and this guy's public enemy number one in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I just think let the punishment suit the crime. And in this case, I think I agree, but I don't agree with the level of punishment and bad publicity. And I will say this, oh gosh, I may love your guy, good or bad guy, but how about what's his D'Amico Ryan? I forget. I forget how to pronounce his name, which is a shame. I should know better. But how about him sticking by his guy? He doesn't turn his back on him. That's my guy. He doesn't. He didn't. He doesn't come out here and say we don't teach that and this and that. Throw your guy under the bus because all of a sudden he's ostracized by the league. What does he say? That's my guy. We'll look at it, but you got to be careful. And pretty much, it's the best way he can do to show support for his guy. It's a rough sport. It's a rough position, and I get it that Trevor Lawrence doesn't have the biggest reputation for being a running quarterback. But he sure did a lot of it in college. And maybe he's just not good at it in the NFL yet. I think it was a late slide. 3-game checks and making this guy public enemy number one in the NFL, or the poster child for bad hits on quarterbacks. Little extreme, if you ask me, in my opinion.
All in all, I honestly don't even know if they can do anything. Beyond,
no.
I don't think there's anything you can do.
You know what?
It's unfortunate, but I don't think there's anything that's going to stop it.
You know what? If they want to, leave the helmets on and leave the flag and put the little orange flags on the side of them and have everybody reach for that and see how many people are going to tune in. I'm sorry the kid got hurt, but the reality is it's a part of the game. And if he slides earlier or doesn't slide to extend for more yardage, maybe it's a different result if you go straight down. But anyway, I've kind of ranted on that enough. The other this next thing it's a little sensitive, but I'm sorry.
Hey, before you get into your feelings, can I do something real quick?
You got to pee?
Yeah, okay. No, just give me a second.
Oh, jeez, it's another Michigan. Oh, he's got to change the hat now. Okay. Well, kind of like.
I just had to switch hats.
I kind of like the yellow. The yellow better. Yeah, I like the yellow better.
Oh yeah. You guys like it? Comment below. Do you like the yellow better?
What are we at? Like one comment for the whole year? And of course it's from Aaron.
No, 2.
Oh yeah, Aaron and my daughter.
Got 2 from
your
daughter.
Whatever. So next thing, there's an outlet when people decide that they're going to be famous to utilize for personal stuff. And I guess that's what the Instagram and Twitter and all this stuff is all about. But I'm assuming by now you saw what is this? The plea for prayers by Randy Moss on game day. Did you have a reaction to that?
We're all well, Randy. We're doing well.
Well, good morning, man. I just want to share something with y'all, man. Just I put a post up maybe a few minutes ago on Instagram, just telling people. You were talking about my eyes last week, and I just want to let the viewers know that me and my wife, me and my family, we are battling something internally. I have some great doctors around me. I couldn't miss the show. I wanted to be here with you guys. I feel great, but if y'all see me with these Michigan turnover glasses that I have on, it's not being disrespectful because I'm on television, man. I'm battling something. I need all the prayer warriors. God bless you all, and thanks for the prayers.
I didn't see it. I saw the clip afterwards to say it. My initial thought was, are you going blind? You're losing your sight? Which, truth be told, I have a cousin that lost his sight like later in age, and is devastating
to
somebody who could see his whole life, and then you start losing your sight as you get older. So I find it devastating. But as far as him asking for prayers and stuff, I didn't even cross my mind, to be honest with you. That's more of a rant for you, bad guy.
Okay, yeah. So, we both remember Randy as a player. He's one of the best wide receivers of the generation. Definitely a me guy. Definitely a diva. Bigger than a team. I lost a lot of respect for him. There was an incident with him and some caterer at I think when he was with Minnesota. small business guy, and he went on one of his spoiled brat rants. I actually think he does a great job on game day. My thing is, when you tune into those shows, as bad as they are, they still get people to tune in because it just makes sense. It goes with the beer while you do a countdown and kill time waiting for the games to start, or you want recaps after they're done. So my thing is that, and it's just typical Randy. He's bigger than he always thought he was bigger than the team, and he thinks he's bigger than the show and what its intent was. I'm sympathetic to whatever it is that he's going through health wise, but I think that the platform to make that kind of gesture or to make that kind of plea, he had already utilized. Instagram.
I was gonna say he already made it. Yeah, you don't have to get on TV.
I'm tuning in for the pregame show. You know, I don't want to hear about your health problems. I don't want to hear about Rex Ryan's foot fetish. Give me your analysis on the games. As bad as it is for most of them, which Randy is very good at. I just don't like utilizing that as a platform, because now here I am getting psyched up for the day, and I got my own problems, man. I'm not trying to carry yours at 12:45 when I'm trying to get away from my stuff before the game starts, and now you're bringing your stuff into it. That's another hurdle I gotta overcome to get into the zone to enjoy the game, man. I don't tune in for this. If I want to find out about your personal life, I will do whatever you do to subscribe to somebody on Instagram or whatever, or do what our viewers don't do, which is watch and comment. But the TV show is not an outlet for that. I don't want to hear it. I hope whatever health struggle he's going through, he can get through, because I think he's actually very good on game day. But I think it crosses a line, and it goes back to what we told these guys in the NFL. Stop letting these nerdy guys with bow ties tell these guys what to do. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Why don't you tell everybody how sick you are, and that you're going to look for their prayers, and then you'll connect with everybody, and everybody's going to love you, Randy. No, they're not. Not me, not this guy. I don't tune in for it. I'm sorry. I'm not unsympathetic to your health plight, Randy, but let me speak for who I am sure is I'm not alone, where I can say I don't give a shit. I don't. And I can't be alone. I'm not that much of an individual. I can't be alone. Don't bring me down when I'm trying to get up to watch the games, man. Nobody wants to hear it. Share it on Instagram, Facebook, wherever the hell else you want to put it. Put a sign on your back when you leave the studio. Do like one of those Just Married things on the back of your car if you want to ask for prayers. Don't bring it in the studio, man. I don't give a shit. Sorry. These meat people around this, it's just driving me nuts. I just had enough. I'm going to diverse now. I'm going to leave poor Randy alone. And I do sincerely hope that he gets through whatever health issue he's going through. I don't want my message to be misconstrued. Lastly, we sent that letter to the NFL, for the record, which we have not received a response yet from anybody. It's insulting, but not surprising. But especially on the eve of this, the QB hit heard around the world. And I don't know, but how do you feel about these guys using the term harm's way in sports references during the game? Do you have, when they sit there and say, well, don't put the receiver in harm's way, or, he's got to block and he's got to hit this guy, and because you don't want to put your quarterback in harm's way. Does it bother you?
First of all, I don't even know who harm is. But second of all, if you're going to get in his way, you should probably already know he's there, correct?
Yeah. Well, that's really well done. Maybe if I would have thought about that, it wouldn't have bothered me so much. But for my take on it,
more than just a hat rack,
obviously. And mine isn't. Obviously, mine is just a hat rack. But that the term harm's way goes back, from what I can recall, with the war in Afghanistan, or I think with George Bush decided to send troops in. And I thought it was very well written. Whoever wrote a speech and talked about how seriously he thought about putting our young men in harm's way. It's the best way, because I guess he couldn't say war, but I liked it.
Strategery.
It made sense. So when I hear these guys say the term, don't put this guy in harm's way, they do it all over. They do it in baseball sometimes. They do it in football. I get it. Football's a violent sport, but let's call a spade, brother. The real guys in harm's way aren't driving $250,000 cars up the driveway to a 10,000 square foot home in an exclusive neighborhood at the end of their day of work. The NFL talks about this whole salute to service thing. You really want to show some respect to the guys in the military? Tell those idiots to stop comparing a millionaire wide receiver getting hit over the middle or a multimillionaire quarterback getting sacked because the block package failed, using the same terminology to a guy who makes his living in a foxhole in the middle of a war zone for your freedom so that guy can be there. They're not the same. Show them some more respect to the military. And I wish Kelly was still in the league, because maybe we could have had him on as a special guest just to kind of get a military person's take on it. But I just got to say, it offends me and annoys me every time they say it. Football's a dangerous sport. I don't deny it. But are the two are they parallel? They are not. They are not. So they should stop using that word. That phrase, I don't want to hear harm's way in the broadcast anymore. You should be able to have a button to block it so that every time an idiot says it, you don't have to hear it. It's an insult. And with the NFL being so pro-military, you would think that they would notice something like that going on in their broadcast. It's not the same. Stop it.
I don't know. These broadcasters, man, some of them, ugh.
Josh Bynes has been coming all night long, but then he pulls out, and it's just hard. It's been a while since he's seen a hole that big. He almost didn't know what to do. He's got 5 inches on him, but just too much.
Well,
I didn't realize that Gus Johnson was such a homer after watching that Michigan-Ohio State game. He hit puberty a few times in there, but...
Warren looking, and it's intercepted at the goal line. Unbelievable. Wow, Jack Sawyer, the hero, Captain Jack.
It's tough, man. And the radio guys are the worst. So if you listen to like on satellite radio and you get your local radio, and the guy who says, our game or we, don't say we unless you're on the roster, man. If you ain't on the roster, don't say we in the broadcast.
I will say that the guy who does the Eagles games, who's been in there forever, is amazing. Merle Reese, one of the best, hasn't changed. If you get a chance to listen to any of his stuff, he's great. But he is a part of that team. For him, because he's the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles radio play-by-play guy. He's got Super Bowl rings and he's got all that stuff. So he can say that, but there are some that they're just, for hire. So I get what you're saying. But I have a question, though, before you go on to your next rant, if you do. There's other sayings that people or the announcers do a lot of times, right? So I want to ask, comment down below and let us know if there's any other annoying phrases that
that's
announcers
good. I like
use.
that.
So comment down below. I don't want you to read my lips, or because I don't want you to see what play I'm.
And like and subscribe while you're down there, you yahoos.
Yahoo.
So other than the curse I want to put on Kyle Pitts, that's all I got this week.
Okay. Well, before we head out, I want to go ahead and do the rankings. And I'm actually going to do it a little bit different this week because everybody does 1 to 12 or 12 to 1. And, well, I'm going to be different because that's who I am. Anyways, speaking of the GM of the Week, Sharon Cox Award, sorry, bleep that out. We have a Sharon Cox in the I Have the Power rankings, all in at number 6, fighting for the 6th spot. Barry, Flip Flop, Jake, all coming in at number 6.
Wow.
Yep. Pretty crazy, right? Start off the rankings at number 6 with a Sharon Cox, a 3-way. And I'm going to actually go to number 12 now because he dropped down 5 spots. It's grass. So sad.
Ooh, that's a big drop.
Sad. Sorry. You don't have the worst record, but not scoring 100 points for 4 straight weeks certainly doesn't help. Anyways, coming in at number 3, we've got our favorite Bangalore Brandon. It's Control-Alt-Delete at number 3.
Ooh, you dropped him to 3?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And coming in at number 9, I hate to do it, but somebody has to be 9th. Apex Untouchables. At least you didn't move any spots. You stayed there, scored a lot of points, but you are 9.
And he's still cool.
He's too cool to do anything with at 9. Coming in at number 1, I think we already know it's young Shelly. So let's move on to number 11. Up 1 spot. He's finally better at a mixing than something. It's Aaron. Coming in at number 4, a bad guy. You're sitting still, bro. You lost.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm just gonna sit you still there for a little bit.
Yeah, I get it, man. I scored a decent amount of points too, man. It is what it is. Kyle Pitts killed me.
It is what it is, and so is number 10.
All right.
Actually moving up 2 spots and finishing strong. It's the Hank, our defending champion. Number 10.
Okay. It's a sign of a good coach. Make sure that his team keeps playing to the end, even when they got nothing to play for.
Yep.
Okay.
And 2 spots left. Who is it? Number 2, it's our soon-to-be your mom champion, the mad scientist.
Wow.
Coming in at number 2.
You really think that highly of him,
Powerful
huh?
team, bro. And then at number 5 is Camistro. Yeah. And that's it for your I Have the Power rankings. We will finish out this week.
All right.
Give me a second here, Marcus. It's the last week, man. Last week of the regular season. I hate when fantasy season comes to an end.
You and me both, man. This has gone by really quick this year.
It has. It literally seems like just yesterday when we had the party.
Yeah, really.
So, the last week of our scoreboard, who's going to win this week, the final week of the regular season? I know I'm not winning any championships, but I am in the playoffs. So 6 of us are in, 6 of us are out. And this week, I get to take on Aaron to round out the season. I thought moving into or starting this season, it would be a fun final game. But he's 4-9. He's all but given up on his life. I mean, his team.
Thanks.
Right now, he's only projected to score 76 points. I don't think he's touched his lineup. He probably won't do that until Sunday. Whether I win or lose, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm probably losing in the first round of the playoffs. So let's move on to another game that doesn't really mean a lot, but a little bit. The grass. Justin plays Barry. The more important thing here is if Barry wins, he still has a chance to be in the playoffs. There's still 3 guys all in that fight. We went over that in the rankings a minute ago. If you didn't see them, rewind. But Barry plays grass. I think the more important question is, Barry wins this easily, but does grass score 100 points to round out the season? I think that's the question.
Nope.
Next, our defending champion rounds out his terrible championship hangover against his prodigy, I guess you could call him, maybe. Young Narin. Narin plays Hank, boss against employee, and Narin probably wins it, I'm pretty sure. But maybe Hank can pull an upset to round out the end of the season.
And then the thing is, if Hank pulls that off, and the mad scientist wins, man. Oh, your boy drops now. Now he's playing the first week of the playoffs,
which is going to move us into the mad scientist playing flip flops, and flip flops has been on a little bit of a tear. I don't think the mad scientist has any fear of losing, just because his team is stacked and he's probably going to win the championship. But I take mad scientist in that one. And then finally, the two games that are pretty big, I think so. Jake has to play Apex Untouchables. Why do I think this game is big? Because Jake's hanging on to that final spot. And Apex Untouchables just scored the second most highest points of the week. And I think he's got all his guys playing this week. So Jake's going to have to bring his A game to hang on to that final spot, or somebody like Barry, or even Flip Flops if he wins. Flip Flops has a lot to play for. He could technically still make it, but he needs some help. Could Jake give him some help?
If Jake loses,
we don't know. It could be how much Cool Rob does this weekend.
Does Jake have to win to get in?
He does, technically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, if he loses, he's not out, but he needs some help. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And finally, the biggest game of the week is the young Sheldon taking on Bad Guy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got Lamar off this week.
Well, it is unfortunate for you, not so unfortunate for young Sheldon, but is there a chance you could pull the upset over young Sheldon? Will it matter? Who knows? Stay tuned for the final week of Your Mom. It's over.
All right, I guess that's going to do it for us this week. Don't forget to check out the enhanced YouTube version 2.0. Congrats to the Michigan fans out there, and we should send some handy wipes and diapers to the Ohio State people, I guess.
That's all they're doing is
and
complaining.
I guess we'll see you next. Yeah, that's what they do. All right, guys, have a great week. Later, Commish.
Bye.
But I want that money. Give me my money. I really mean it. It's my money. You owe me that money, so give me my money. Seriously.
Buddy, what's the matter?
I'm done with fantasy football.
Why? What happened?
Everything. All my players are getting hurt, and they're like some of the best ones.
Who's hurt now?
Chris Godwin's hurt. Now CeeDee Lamb's Deebo Samuel's in the hospital, and CJ Stroud can't do anything.
CJ Stroud's sucking right now.
And so is Chris. Cortland Sutton.
Hey, we gotta look at